Hi everyone,
Hi.
this is Claire and Irene, and today we're welcoming you to Hannah's home. It's found at Plot, Nyonyintono Road in Naguru. We're going to take you through and give you a brief tour of the rooms and the center. You are most welcome.
This here is one of the playrooms that we use for therapies for our children. So if you recall, in the earlier episodes, we had talked about the Sunrise program, where we have a playroom, where we have a distraction-free environment. So I'm just going to take you through what a playroom looks like, where you can do your therapies and be able to engage your child on a one-on-one basis. So you could also have this in your home, any simple room that you could set up to be able to have that engagement with your child and be able to bond with your child. Over here is the mirrors. So the mirrors have been set for a reason. The mirror is basically to support our children with eye contact. As you notice, most of our children do not have eye contact. So in case you're having an engagement with your child and probably you are behind them, they'll be able to observe and notice what you're doing. So it encourages a lot of eye contact, and most of the times it would pull their attention towards what is towards looking at themselves. So this is one of the tools to support with eye contact. So in case your child is here and is seated here and you're right behind them and you're doing what they're doing, because remember we said you need to imitate what they're doing so that you're able to capture their attention, to show that you are identifying with them, identifying with what they're doing, to be able to get their attention and encourage them or teach them on what you would want them to do. Then up here, you'll see these shelves. These tools or props have been intentionally put up so that it encourages engagement from the child, so that the child is able to reach out to you, the therapist or the parent, to request for something. So in what we're doing here, we are encouraging them to be able to have some kind mode of communication. It may not be verbal in the beginning, but probably they'll hold your hand and point towards what it is that they need. So we did this to have these shelved up here so that we are able to have that engagement. Then you'll see that everything here is at a low level. We have the chairs here at a low level because we want to come to the level of the child. We do not want to stay up above them. So we will sit down on the floor and play on the ground with them, or sit on these small chairs so that we are at their level and we are engaging with them very well. Then over here is what we call the observation window. So this observation window is basically to help, say, if a parent has come to observe what is happening, or if you are observing your child with somebody else, with a therapist, you're able to see and provide feedback without causing any distraction to the session that is going on. Now, this mirror, once all the doors are closed, is the view is only one-sided. So the person on the other side would be able to see, but the child from this side will not see, so that you do not have that distraction coming through. And then after the sessions have happened, you're able to engage and share feedback with each other. So basically, this is a room. You see, if you notice, the walls are clear. We do not want to have a lot of distraction except for the tools that we want them to learn. So we keep the walls clear so that we take away that distraction or attention on many items around, except for the items that we would want to engage them in. So this is a playroom, and you could call it a therapy room, and it is something that you could set up in your home. And it is not rocket science, it is not anything complicated. You could just have a small room that you believe is suitable to support your child with these therapies. What we are doing here is trying to get their attention. And that is why we said there's value in having a distraction-free environment, so that you shut out all the distractions and it is just you and your child engaging with each other. So we do a lot of this at Hannah's home, and you are welcome to join. You are welcome to come and learn, so that you could also carry the same to your home, or come to our center so that we can support you and work together with your child.
Hi, so welcome to our sensory room. What do we mean by sensory? It is the room, it's a small little room which is equipped with some items that help our children when they are feeling dysregulated or they're struggling or need some alone time and need to withdraw. And we've equipped it with a few items that can be helpful. For instance, this little tent, a child can come and withdraw into that space and find some quiet time inside there. We've put in some soft toys as well. As an example, you can put in soft toys. This is one of our soft toys. You can put in little balls that light. This lights. It can meet their need in the moment when they need to calm down. Even the sensation, the way it feels, it's rough. The children could enjoy that. We also have an indoor trampoline. Sometimes children they have energy to burn and you want them to burn it off. So we bring them in here and they get a chance to bounce, bounce, bounce. You've heard the expression, my child is bouncing off the walls. This is one of the tools that we use, an indoor trampoline that they can come and jump until they're then able to settle down. It's a very good tool to use. I'm sitting on this. We call it a therapy ball or a ball bath ball. It's very good as well when they're dysregulated to come and have a bounce on it. Sometimes you could roll it over them and they could settle down in that sense. It is small. These blinds as well can be closed to provide a darkened environment. Sometimes our children are affected by too much lights, too much noise. So it's quiet. We darken it and they can come in here, cool down, calm down before they join their colleagues and peers in other activities. We've also equipped it with other tools, an abacus to feel, a puppet toy that they can use. These are commonly found anywhere, and some squishy, funny toys that will help with their sensory needs. So we call it our sensory room, where they can come, be withdrawn. In addition, we use it as well where we want to teach certain skills. Some of the children are into pre-academics. They're learning their sounds, they're learning their shapes and numbers. We bring them in here for one-to-one sessions with the special needs teacher, and they're taught at their pace, at their level, what they're doing. The way we operate at Hannah Center, each child has an individualized education plan. So each child is at a different stage, meaning we do not teach as a group like they do in a regular school. Each child is taught wherever they are. So some children are learning their sounds, vowels, others are learning their numbers, others are not yet there. They're just learning shapes and colors. We bring each child individually alone. Some are able to work in groups. From time to time, we'll bring groups of 2 or 3 and put them in here and they get taught. How long are the lessons? 15 to 20 minutes at most, so that we don't get beyond their attention span. 15 minutes, repetitive, daily, consistency. Eventually, they learn. And then when we need a quiet room as well, we bring them in here for a quiet room and a quiet time. So as you're going into the Christmas season and you're going into all these events, consider, is there a room? Talk to the family. If you're going to the villages, if you're going to be with family, is there a space where we can have a quiet room for my child and I can bring their safe toys, their preferred toys, so that if they're overwhelmed, you withdraw them to a room like this. Easy to create, nothing fancy, just a safe space, some cushions, darkened enough until they're ready to be integrated back into the main group. Thank you for visiting our sensory room. Did you know that sand is a very, very good sensory tool? Very important for our children with special needs and even our neurotypically developing children. Playing in the sand, feeling it on your feet, in your hands, on your body, very important for sensory integration and development of our children. So we would encourage you to create a small sand area or even other tools like rice or beans that will be good for the children. Rub it on their toes, in between their toes, over their feet, over their bodies. Let them build castles. Let them play with all these toys. We put them in here to make it attractive. Let them come and spend as much time as possible outside. Some children don't like the feel of it. If they're dysregulated, if they can't do that, that continuous discomfort prevents them even settling to learn in the classroom. So it's important that they get enough time exposed to the textures in the environment. Another important thing is barefoot. I've come into the sand barefoot. Very important. Not in their Crocs, not in socks. A lot of people say, oh, mwana agenda kudukala, agenda kulwala. Nedda. It's very important. And our feet, I'm now going into the therapy language, have receptors and a lot of nerve endings that are important. They send signals up to the brain. So very important that the child is barefoot. If I even take it further and walk on the grass, we have these terms now these days. They talk about earthing and grounding. This is it, barefoot. We encourage our children when they're here to play barefoot. Some people say we have a barefoot policy. Not really, but we encourage a lot of barefoot play in the sand, in the grass, that a child begins to feel and accept different textures. It builds neural pathways and develops the brain for learning. So as you're planning for your holiday, look for places that have sand areas and play with your children. Do not be afraid to get in there, build castles, splash the sand on you, do whatever it takes to expose your children as much as possible. It doesn't have to be big, can be small, can create a sand table, but very important for the children to get this experience. So as you're going on holiday this December and you're thinking of things to do, take them to the beach, sit in the sand, play in the sand. Let them walk barefoot. When they go to the village to meet Jaja, let them run in the grass barefoot. Take off those shoes and those socks and let them feel the environment. It communicates with them and it sends signals, very important signals, to the brain. Welcome to our communal learning classroom, our upper learning classroom. So in here, our children who are slightly older than 6, maybe 8 and above, come here to learn. We've created a bigger space. If I may start right here, we have a computer table. We are teaching them skills, ICT skills, to be able to use a computer, turn it on, type a few things as they learn to write. Over here, we have their schedules for the day. They learn the days, they work on their schedules, they set out their schedules per day. These are their individual writing tables. So each child has their table. They sit and work alongside a teaching assistant, whether they're learning maths and addition, subtraction, multiplication, or writing their sentences. They sit at a desk supported by a special teaching assistant over here. And here we have our board, our writing space, our learning space that they can come to. And if they need to have a meal, we set aside a little space where they can come, sit, and eat. And over here, we've created a chill out area for them where they do come if they're tired or after they're in between their breaks and they have a little chill or sit about where they have their private time. We also use this room, I called it our communal learning classroom, for our general music lessons. When we have group sessions, it's big enough to accommodate a good number of students. So we do our music lessons in here from time to time. If we have art, we come and do it here. If we have group meetings and we want to integrate all the children to teach social skills, we tend to use this, our bigger classroom, for these events. Yes? So this is what we have at Hannah Center for our children. As it grows, we will increase the number of rooms that we use. We also use the outdoor environment as a learning space. There is no space that goes uncovered. We sit outside because we believe our children need to learn in every environment. So even outdoors here, we come and learn. We put our tables and desks out here and we study outside. We go to the grass. We go to the play area. There is no surface that cannot be used as the classroom because the world is a classroom and we're exposing our children to different environments. Thank you for joining us on this brief tour of Hannah Center. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our show, All Things Autism and More. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope everybody is very festive this season. We're back. My name is Patricia. This is Irene. And Claire. I think I should have let them say their names for themselves. We're just here to wish you a very, very happy Christmas and to just talk about what Christmas will be like, what we're hoping it will be like, how to prepare for Christmas, and generally the holiday and the end of the year and all that's in between. But also welcome back from that tour of Hannah Center. How was it, ladies?
It was great, I believe.
We hope you enjoyed it and you picked a few tips here and there on how to structure your environment for your special loved one. I liked my favorite part of the entire tour was when Claire was taking us through the sandpit, and I was telling everybody how actually that really ties into what we want to talk about today. Thinking of activities and things that we can do as a family, because Christmas is not just about Christmas Day, it's a season. And I think I love the way Christmas is celebrated in Africa, because most places of work and most schools get a holiday that's a little longer than just Christmas Day and Boxing Day, which means there's a lot more time to be present and to basically celebrate the year, celebrate Christmas, celebrate the birth of Jesus, of course, but as well as just being in a festive season, in a festive mood, slow down the pace a bit, and just be present with the family. So ladies, I don't know if this is when I ask what your plans are for Christmas, but I wanted us to talk mainly about, because of this show is mainly a support for families that have children with special needs, families that have children with autism, and we know that our kids are very sensitive during these seasons. And I guess I want to pick the brain of these ladies now that they've shown you their center, because so you know that they are actually doing what they say they do. So I'm hoping that we can get some tips on how we can navigate through this season. And the reason why it's me asking for help is because I know that we give you the impression when you come and watch our show that we know everything. Okay, hopefully we haven't. Hopefully we haven't given you that impression, but sometimes we come off as very confident or having conquered certain milestones or levels or what. But I just want to tell you, we are also in the same boat as you. As many of you, some of you are even doing better than us. So please feel free to share with us and equip us better. And by this I mean, I have issues with taking my kids out. And my family knows this. It's something I have publicly spoken about. I have a lot of anxiety with taking my kids out. And my children are really social and they are really bubbly and wonderful, but I have PTSD. I was telling Irene, I have PTSD from like when Harvey was younger. and the aggressive, the aggression and the tantrums, and how you leave home with a plan to go to a party or something for several hours, and then you get there and you're there for like 20 minutes or half an hour, and maybe something has, I don't know, triggered him, like maybe sound or something. And then before you know it, they're like, bye, we are leaving. I'm really those moms. I'm like, let's go. I don't need this stress. We don't need this stress. We can go home. So that's why it's me who's asking for help. Because as a show, we don't want to be the kind of people who are encouraging children to be kept indoors.
Yes.
And we are African women. We understand, first of all, the value of community, the value of family. And I was telling Irene earlier about how, community is such a big part of who we are as Africans, and a big part of how we spend Christmas and that general festive season. And how does somebody navigate getting through that fear? Because I always tell people it's not really about my child, because Harvey he's a peach. I'm the one who has problems now because I am still living in the past. He has since overcome so much of the stuff that he used to struggle with, but I am still there. I haven't yet recovered. I haven't yet progressed to that level where I'm comfortable with taking him to places. Maybe I'll start with you, Irene, because you said something that was really key. You reminded us something that Mama Africa said when she came on that show.
Yeah, so first of all, I would advise you to first start having conversations with yourself.
Nice one. Yes,
Eh?
I'm going to say the same thing actually.
Harvey has since moved.
Yes,
He is far ahead of you. So start having those conversations with yourself and start addressing those fears. Because I think the greatest thing that puts us down or sets us back is our fear. So I think the best way is for us to be able to overcome it is to face it head on. And how do we face it? We have to first start discussing internally within us. What is this fear I have? Ask those questions. Why do I have it? What do I need to do to overcome it? Maybe there was an incident you passed through that caused you to have that fear. So maybe you could reflect on that and see how best to deal with it. And then borrowing from what Mama Africa said, Mama Africa and Africa are inseparable. Like he is a part of her. And everyone around him or around her knows that. So they know if you're inviting Mama Africa, Africa has to tag along. And because of that, they will be aware of who Africa is, what Africa likes, what Africa does not like, and be able to accommodate that. So maybe you could start off with that.
She started early.
I think it's not too late, Patricia. And for anyone who might be in your shoes as well, I like what Irene has said. You have to have that conversation with yourself and then be comfortable. Because also remember, the child is taking a cue from you. Yes? They are taking a cue from Mama. It's not comfortable. So your vibe is giving them a signal. I'm also not comfortable here. You get it? Yes.
Profound.
So they are taking their cue from you. So have that conversation with yourself. Write it down and say, why am I scared of this? What is the worst that could happen? And fine, the event is going to take 7 hours. Our intention is to be there for 3. Which 3? Will we go at the beginning, say it's a wedding or it's a party, when they're cutting cake, when they're shouting, or shall we go after? Pace yourself.
Yes.
Which part of the event shall we be a part of? And then I think also have tools for the child. As much as you're talking to yourself, you talk to the child, prepare them. We are going to go here, we'll find so and so, there'll be loud noises, there'll be what, keep talking about it. Do you remember what I said? Even those who are non-verbal, tell them, we're going to do this, repeat, prepare them. But you can take your stuffy, You can take your pop-it. You can take your fidget. Whatever makes them feel. Is there a blankie they like? Is there? You can wear your favorite shoes. You can do what you want when we get there. And then when you get there, and they're being funny and they're wondering and all that, you be calm.
That's the part.
Yes. And I think that's the advice I'd give. Be calm, I think. I think about had also parents said to us that, oh, the child grabs food from plates. I'm worried about that. Maybe go after food. Maybe go after food. Eat at home, go after food. Maybe. Or if you want them to eat, ensure they've eaten as well. Yes. And if their favorite foods they like, make sure they've eaten them. Or if you know the host, speak to them and say, my child likes chicken. Please keep us some chicken. We are coming. So that they get these things. I think if we're continuing to say that we are making awareness, we are trying to create inclusivity, we have to own everything. My child is like this, they're going to grab from plates, they're going to blah, blah. But if they've eaten and they're fed and they have their own, that need is not there. Yeah. Or you say, like when you go through airports, they say there's priority seating for those traveling with children or those traveling with children with special needs. You can also ask for priority feeding. We are hungry.
So, yeah.
I think what I get from this is preparation.
Yeah. Yes.
Then also create that anticipation. Prepare the child as well as prepare yourself. That way I think it would be much easier for you. I think when there's preparation.
For anything, yes. If they're going to be blowing candles or those balloons kids like to bring them home for yourself already. Start blowing with the child. If you're going for a birthday party, let's blow the balloons. Let's make the noise. So that you prepare. I think those are the key things I would say. Preparation. For yourself first. But then also I would say, no pressure. You don't have to attend all the functions in the festive season.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Much do not forget to involve her
in the conversation, yes.
What would you like to do for this Christmas season?
Yeah.
And you just get to hear.
So whatever you're doing this Christmas, our humble request is do not leave the children behind. Just because you're scared or you're worried of how they'll behave. If there are going to be 10 events, pick and choose. Let the children get involved where they'll be in a safe and loving environment. We showed you about our sensory room or activities they can be involved in. Pick and choose those. Talk to family members. Give us a space aside. The child seems to be, and your children, getting triggered or overwhelmed. Remove them quickly. But this business of panicking and being anxious, all the time, the child picks their cue from you.
So you have to calm yourself. Operate from a place of calm.
Operate from a place of calm, yes. Yeah, so enjoy the festive season, whatever you decide to do. If you're traveling, if you're staying at home, prepare your child, prepare yourself, find the things they like, and be ready and have a nice time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
A good time.